Hello, in this video we are going to learn how to create frequencies and relative frequencies, and using those frequencies we're going to create a bar plot and a pie chart. So following the previous example, we have this variable age, and it's actually a collection of uh, different people's age, total 25 people here. So let's sort this data first from smallest to largest. And here you go. We have 2 people um, who are 12 years old. We have 5 people in this sample who are 18 years old, and 6 people in the sample who are 25 years old, and so on and so forth. Now, we want to find out how many unique ages are there. So UNIQUE from A2 to A26. I selected that all the values in the sample and then press enter. And I found that, okay, these are the unique values that are appearing here: 12, 18, 25, 34. So each unique value is appearing only once here. So let's name this column unique ages. Now we want to know how many times 12 is occurring in this sample, how many times 18 is occurring in this sample, and so on and so forth. So the frequencies, the occurrences or frequencies of these numbers in the sample. To do that, remember we used count to count the values of a variable, total values. This time we are going to use count if. That means whether this particular value 12 is appearing in this range that we are going to define. So this within this range, A2, from A2 to A26. Within this range, how many times 12 is occurring? So let's select 12 here. 12 is in the cell B2, and then we are gonna close the bracket, close the parenthesis, and then press enter. So 12 is occurring twice in this sample. Similarly, 18 is occurring 5 times in this sample. Notice that when we click on this formula, this has this selection has gone down a cell. So we don't want that. What we can do is to fix that selection column right here. So we can, instead of writing A2, A26, if I go down, this becomes A3, A27. We don't want that. So let's fix these rows, but we don't need to fix the columns. So to fix the rows, I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of 2 and another dollar sign in front of 26. So now the rows are fixed. So when you press enter, it gives 2. And this time when I drag it down, it gives 5. And check 18. How many times 18 is appearing in these values? The answer is 5. And now I can easily drag this down below to find out the frequencies for all these values. 41, for example, is appearing 4 times in these values. Okay, so name this column frequency. Now, if done correctly, then the sum of these values should be the sum of the counts here, because the people here are 25. The information on 25 people, and here we have frequencies of each values, each unique values. So the sum should also be 25. Let's check. Equal sign sum from here to here. This is 25. Highlighting them, highlighting this number so that we know that this is different. And then again, count of all these figures. So still 25. So our calculations are correct. Now let's calculate the relative frequency. Remember, relative frequencies is the ratio of this number, that is the frequency, and the total frequencies. To do that, select C2, and then divide it by the total frequency. But so we get our relative frequency for this number 12. But if I drag this down, then there's a problem. So the denominator becomes C10. We don't want that. So we need to fix the denominator, the row of the denominator. So let's go back to this formula and put a dollar sign in front of 9. Now this row has been fixed. If I drag it down, drag the formula down, then it still selects 9. So our calculation of relative frequency remains consistent. Okay, so 5 divided by 25 is 0.20. And if I drag it down below, then I get all these relative frequencies for each unique numbers. Now if I sum these numbers, then I'm gonna get 1. And that's because when I divide 25 by 25 is also 1. So frequency over total frequencies is 1, and that's why the sum of all relative frequencies are also 1. Now that we have the unique edges and their relative frequencies, we can plot the relative frequencies or frequencies in a bar plot. Let's delete this because Excel doesn't like a label for the values that goes to x-axis. So I'm gonna delete this and create a bar plot using these values. Insert, and then insert column or bar chart, then select the first one. Now we have a relative frequency, a frequency plot that looks like this. This shows the counts of each values, how many times they are occurring in the samples. For example, 12 is occurring 2 times, 18 is occurring 5 times in the sample. But if I drag this to show relative frequencies, then it shows the proportion of the frequencies among the total frequency, which is 25. So 5 over 25 is 0.2. So 18 is appearing 5 times over 25 is 0.20. So that's that. And so on and so forth. So in a way, relative frequencies are giving us the probabilities of getting any number from here in the sample. For example, the probability of getting someone who is 18 years old is 0.20 because out of 25, there are 5 people who are 18 years old in the sample. Now, if I add all these lengths together, that means all the values together, I'm going to get 1 because the sum of these values is 1. Okay, I can create a pie chart as well if I have this relative frequency and I'd like to show this information using a 2D pie. I have this. And in this 2D pie, I can show the relative frequencies for each type as well. Let's use this. So we have this dark green for 25, this value 25, and the highest percentage of the highest number of people are from the year 25 years old. Um, and that is 24% because this number is 24. So when you multiply these numbers, relative frequency, by 100, then you get these percentages. And the total, the sum of all relative frequencies uh, times the percentage, then it becomes 100%. This is how, why. So times 100. So this information is just showing here. That means if we have, right now we have 5 people, but if we were to collect uh, data from, let's say, 100 people, and that have the same feature of this sample, then we could get 8 people who had who were 12 years old, 20 people who are 18 years old, and so on and so forth. And that's why the value 25 is getting 24% here in this pie chart. Okay. I hope this video was useful to you. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you.